Fumble's forgotten how to make honey. Hecate to the rescue.
I'm Hecate.
And I'm Zanzibar.
Hecate and the Bumblebee. Fumble the Bumblebee was asleep with a smile on her face. Last night she'd found a beautiful, comfortable bed inside a blossom at the end of a branch at the top of a magnolia tree. While she was sleeping, the wind blew and the branch rocked her gently, and she dreamed she was floating on a lollipop boat on a sea of honey. "Honey," she murmured in her sleep, and smiled again. Suddenly there was a terrible bump, and Fumble was falling. She tried to open her wings, but there was no time. "Boom! Ouch!" yelled Fumble as her head hit the ground. She picked herself up and examined all her legs in turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. "Thank goodness, they're all there," she said. Then she counted her wings. 1, 2, 3, 4. "That's good," said Fumble. "No damage done. I wonder what made me fall out of bed." She heard a groan. She looked round and saw a very strange sight. There, by a leaning tower of plant pots, was a battered broomstick, a puzzled-looking cat, 2 legs sticking up in the air, and a green-faced witch trying to get out of a wheelbarrow. "I'm terribly sorry," I said. "I was thinking of making a honey cake to have with my beetle tea, and I'm afraid I wasn't looking where I was going." And Zanzibar, my cat, was asleep. "You're not hurt, are you?" Fumble rubbed her sore head. "No, I don't think so. Just a bit of a headache." "Honey cake, did you say? I make the best honey in the world. The Queen Bee says so. What's your name? Why is your face green?" "You talk too much," I said. "My name is Hecate, and it's none of your business why my face is green." "The best honey, did you say? If you make me some fresh honey, I will give you a piece of my cake to say sorry."
Delicious.
Said Zanzibar, who was looking curiously at the bee. "Honey, now let me see." Fumble began to tremble all over. She was a very fine worker bee, but something was wrong. She could not remember how to make honey. It must have been the bump on her head. Fumble began to cry.
Whatever's the matter?
Zanzibar asked her. He felt sorry for the bee with the sore head. "I've forgotten everything. It must be the bump on my head. I can't remember how to make honey," sobbed Fumble. "Oh dear," I said, feeling guilty. "I don't know either. We will have to ask. There must be someone in this garden who can help us. Hop onto my hat and we'll soon find someone. Come on, Zanz. Oh, look at that silver trail."
A trail means a snail,
said Zanz wisely.
"And if I know snails, Sammy will be at the end of it. He's bound to know."
We followed the silvery path as it went in and out of the flowers and then up the side of a flower pot. And there, munching away at the leaves, was Mr. Samuel Snail, a cousin of Mr. Skeet, our snail mailman. "Excuse me, Sammy," I asked politely. "Do you know how bees make honey?" Samuel was busy, scrunching and munching, nibbling and gobbling.
"Honey? Sticky stuff. Much prefer my silver slime. I can skate around on it easily. Honey is far too sticky. No idea how you make it, and I don't even care. Now, let me get on with my breakfast.
Greedy guts, I replied, thinks of nothing but his tummy. One day he will get too fat for that shell. Come on, Fumble, see that little pile of soil? I think Willy must be there. Who's Willy? Asked Fumble. Just a friend of mine. I sometimes use him and his friends in my spells. Lovely and long and wriggly they are. Willy is bound to know how to make honey. Fumble wondered what Willy could be. Something long and wriggly? Can you guess? I strode across the grass with Fumble sitting on the rim of my hat, where I could see her, and with Zanzibar scampering beside us. I knelt down and stuck my finger into the little mound of soil. To Fumble's surprise, something long and pink and wriggly came up. Ah, there you are, Willy. Now, we need your help. This is Fumble, who has bumped her head and can't remember how to make honey. She's a bee, you see. Do you know? Can you help us? The pink wriggly thing just wriggled and twisted and turned. Willy, you are the silliest worm in the world. Stop wriggling when I talk to you. I was getting annoyed. Honey, how do bees make honey? The wriggling stopped and then suddenly dived out of sight. I think, said Fumble nervously, I think you were talking to the wrong end. That was a tail. Dretted tadpoles, I said, feeling a bit stupid, and I stomped off to the trash bins where a large horsefly was doing a dance on some smelly fish bones. Hi, Helena, I said. We're trying to find out how bees make honey. Can you help? Buzz off, squealed the fly. Can't you see I'm practicing my ballet? Buzz off! Zanzibar swatted at the fly, but she was too quick for him.
How rude,
he said. Oh, Fumble, I wailed. This is terrible. No one wants to help us. Just then, I saw a beautiful web. It was stretched out between a rose tree and a lavender bush. It was perfect in every way, and I bent down to look at it. I know who made this web, and he's very clever indeed, I said. Now, don't you move, Fumble. You don't want to get caught in it, but if I am very careful. I touched the web very gently with my fingernail. Immediately, a beautiful bronze spider ran out, thinking his breakfast had arrived. Mr. Spood, I announced, may I say you have made the most beautiful web I have ever seen. Very kind of you, I am sure, said the spider, looking very proud. I spin slowly because I like to do things properly. Some of the young spiders spin quickly, and then their webs look all squiggly and uneven. I like mine to be perfect. Now, he said, peering at the three of us through all of his 8 eyes, but not seeing all that well. Who are you? I bowed very low. It's me, Mr. Spood, Hecate and Zanzibar, my cat. I'd like you to meet my new friend, Fumble. She has bumped her head and can't remember how to make honey. Do you know how? Of course I do, said Mr. Spood. She needs to sip the pollen of a lovely flower. There, I told you he was very clever, I relayed to Fumble. You have to sip the pollen of a cauliflower. No, 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 said Mr. Spood. Not a cauliflower, a lovely flower.
roses, sunflowers, orange blossom, or lavender?
Lavender, said Fumble. Now I remember. Lavender. It's my favourite. She flew down into the lavender bush and began to sip the nectar from the flowers. Thank you, Mr. Spood. Thank you, Hecate, she called out as she flitted from flower to flower. I'll bring you some honey for your cake, I promise. And Fumble the Bumblebee flew happily away.
Well, said Mr. Spood, she seems happy now. Nice little bee. I don't eat bees, just flies and gnats. Let's hope something tasty comes my way soon. I'm hungry.
Thank you very much, Mr. Spood, I said politely.
Anytime,
said the spider.
I am always happy to help. You can contact me over the web.
He smiled at his joke and went back into the lavender bush to wait for his breakfast to fly into his web. What a kind, helpful spider he is, I thought. I must make a note of it. And I grabbed a twig, turned it into a pencil, and wrote down in my spell book, Mr. Spood, helpful spider, email address, spoodsweb@hecate.com. And now, I said to Zanzibar, it's time for a nice cup of beetle tea. So we climbed back onto my battered old broomstick and flew home.
Thanks for being part of our adventures. Tap here to continue watching our videos right now. And tap here to subscribe to our channel.
Love from Hecate.
Like Hecate? Tell your friends. Tap here to continue watching our videos right now. And tap here to subscribe to our channel.
Love from Hecate.